Could the Rams trade for Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson? And Travis Rodgers and DeMarco Farr, who are one of my favorite radio hosts that talk about the Rams. They offer an interesting perspective. They discuss this exact question today, and let's listen in, then we'll react.
Yeah, the Trey thing is out there. It's not really a thing.
They got two first-round draft picks
I'm
next
hoping
year.
to make it a thing. Yeah.
They got 2 first-round draft picks. They traded their pick to the Falcons.
Correct.
So they got 2 next year, and
you got some room.
Maybe you can pick 2 guys. Maybe you can use the 2 picks to move up to a better pick. Maybe one of the 2 picks is a high pick that you can get what you want.
You've got something to play with. Yeah.
You can use it as capital to go get something right now. And Trey Hendrickson seems to be something that, like you said.
I just have one question. Why wouldn't the Bengals keep him? That's what I'm saying. He's right there.
That's a great question, DeMarco. And if you haven't clued in, they're talking about how the Rams have 2 first-round picks in the 2026 draft, and they're kind of weighing that balance of, do you keep those picks for building for the future, or if your goal is to win a Super Bowl this year, can you have an all-in type of trade where the Rams can trade for a veteran player like Hendrickson?
Because people do dumb stuff.
Obviously, right?
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to pay that guy?
Because people do dumb stuff.
36 sacks in 2
Doncic
years?
is a Laker.
This is true?
Yeah, I mean...
Well, that was the NBA.
Well, people do dumb stuff. So you said this a month or so ago. Why not double down on the thing you're really good at?
I would love to.
And what the Rams are really good at is getting to the quarterback. That Kobe Turner, Byron Young, obviously Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, these guys are really good at creating problems for the quarterback. So let's get even better at that.
I would do it. The only problem is your clock is ticking at quarterback.
So love the point that Travis Rodgers brings up here is, if you have an opportunity to make something you're really good at even better, maybe that's something you have to consider, right? And I don't think that it would take 2 first-round picks to... Number one, I'll get into my thoughts afterwards, but I don't think the Bengals are going to trade Trey Hendrickson just because they're the Bengals. But listen to kind of their contrast about using those picks or draft capital to trade for them.
That's the only issue, and you've got to restock that soon. And next year's draft is going to be better for quarterbacks.
Okay.
So you might want to get into that. And if you have a great season, you still have 2 picks, you can still package something to move up and get a guy you want.
You could still do that even if you used this. Now, you'd have to dip further into the future. You'd have to trade more future picks along the way, but you conceivably could do both, because the parallels between the season we're about to go into and the parallels from their last Super Bowl run they're just more and
starting
more.
To line up.
Okay, this is the part I find the most interesting, what Travis is about to get into here, about comparing this to the 2021 season where the Rams, they traded for Von Miller, they traded or they signed OBJ, right? They traded for Stafford. And it's an interesting perspective here. I appreciate what DeMarco is saying a lot. Travis is saying it doesn't necessarily have to be one or the other. It could be both.
And up again.
Their bye week, we assume, will be after their trip to London, same week as the year they won it all. The year that they won it all, they went out and picked up a pass rushing specialist in Von Miller that cost them, at the time, I believe, a 2nd-round draft pick. But again, a very valuable pick.
Another pass rusher. Right.
Another pass rusher. They got the quarterback that they need. They just got the quarterback that they need. They've added some playmakers, Devontae Adams instead of Odell Beckham Jr. These parallels are really, really strong. And
like I said,
back then,
if I was in charge,
again.
I would do it and get the guy. But
I really appreciate what Travis is saying about the parallels there. Bringing in a veteran wide receiver. Devontae Adams' game is different than what Odell's was at the time. But again, the Rams team is different than that 2021 team pretty dramatically.
Like I said, you got one problem. Your quarterback's 36-37.
This is I will deal with that when I have to deal with that. I don't have to deal with it today. I have to deal with it tomorrow, and tomorrow's not.
And when you
yet.
have those conversations, the first name that comes up is Garoppolo.
Well, they're paying him $10 million.
There's your guy.
It's a lot for a backup.
A lot.
Right. Yeah. That could be your bridge guy. So, like I said, you've got some room to play. They are starting to line up like them F them picks days.
I think it's so hard.
And he's out there.
It's so hard to try to get ready for
And the guy
next quarterback,
the guy you want is from Cincinnati. Same thing.
Yeah, but you're right.
I know.
You're right.
Isn't that crazy? Right.
The thing that is
the rumor out there that Joe Burrow will eventually force his way out of the Bengals. I don't think that's the case, given that they just paid his top 2 wide receivers in T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. But we're not talking about that here. We're talking about Trey Hendrickson here. You know what? Feel free to go watch their full show. It's like a 3-hour show. I clipped this out of. This is at like the 1 hour and 54-minute mark if you want to pick up their conversation. But let's just get into this here. Let's have this conversation. First off, let me be clear. I do not want the Rams to trade for Trey Hendrickson. It's not that he is not a great veteran pass rusher. And it's not the price tag that it would take to give up to get him. It's that he is looking for a new contract. And I am of the mindset of the Rams pass rush is looking really good. It's young. It's affordable right now. It's not going to be affordable pretty quick, right? In 2 years time, right? We have to start having the conversation about Kobe Turner. You have to start having conversation about Byron Young. So right now in this year, right here, you enjoy that young core on that D-line. Let them go and prove themselves. Let them be a force in the NFL, right? Let them develop, right? Trey Hendrickson, if he came in here, he absolutely would make a difference. He'd be an impact player. I think he is someone who, with my limited knowledge of seeing him in press conferences and stuff like that, I think he would fit into the LA locker room quite nicely. But I don't think that is the if you're going to trade, future first round picks, I don't think that Trey Hendrickson is the piece that you need to move forward with that. And I appreciate what Travis and DeMarco are having here. It's good talk radio, especially for May, while waiting for the schedule to come out. But I don't see this being the right move for the Rams to make to get a Trey Hendrickson. I also think that the Bengals, being kind of a stubborn team when it comes to their players and their contracts, I don't see them moving off unless it's a deal they can't refuse, right? And Trey Hendrickson, again, he is someone looking for a new contract. If the Rams were to trade for him, I think it's kind of a Von Miller situation where they're trading for him to be a rental, and they won't be able to necessarily provide that contract that he's seeking right here, right now. So in that sense, I don't know if it's in Trey Hendrickson's best interest to get traded to the Rams, right? If he is looking for that, Myles Garrett type of money. So those are my thoughts. I would love to know yours in the comments below. Do you agree with Travis? Do you think, what, go all in? Take out the credit card. You can pay it off later. Or do you think, hey, you know what? You got a really good team right now. Just roll with it, right? If a player becomes available in season, okay. But I don't think that Trey Hendrickson is the right player for this Rams team to move forward with just right now. Not that he's not a great player. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, especially if you're watching to the end. And as always, go Rams, horns up, and peace out. Let's go Rams. Feel free to like and subscribe, all that good stuff.